Hello and welcome to this special series of episodes called A Turn of the Year Pause. If you'd like the accompanying workbook to go with this to help you, then please go to www.heidimark.co.uk/pause. Hello, you're listening to Overwhelm is Optional. Hello and welcome to the fourth in the Turn of the Year Pause series. So this one is all about dreaming in 2022. So you're going to pause to dream. This means you may end up with a plan at the end of it or not. So mainly this is just taking your time. So if you haven't listen to the other three, it's still okay. You've got time. There's always this big rush, isn't there, at the turn of the year to set New Year's resolutions, which we know don't work very well. But this is an alternative way. This is a way with a week in between each episode to allow the questions to just sit with you in the week so that stuff comes to you. And this episode pulls everything together, but if you didn't do the other episodes, that's okay. And this isn't about getting something right. So we can often get a bit concerned that if we make a plan for a new year, or we set New Year's resolutions, or we do any of that, we can do it wrong, or we're going to fail. We're setting ourselves up to fail, or for disappointment. And I think that's one of the saddest things is we don't dare dream because we don't want to disappoint ourselves or others, but mainly ourselves, because we feel like we wouldn't be able to stand the disappointment. And then in not daring to dream, we miss out. So I'm going to dare you to dream. I'm going to invite you to just spend a little bit of time with me today and really connect to what you might like, how you might like to feel in 2022. Without having to make strict plans. Just dream, imagine. So once again, if you've done this series with me, or if you haven't, that's okay, but I'm just going to invite you to carve out space and time for yourself to do this, and either download the workbook or to help you, or just grab a pen and paper or your journal. Or not. If you haven't got time, I'd rather you just stayed with me now and just listened anyway and let the questions just wash over you and see what comes up. So I'm just going to invite you to drop into your heart. Now this always sounds a bit woo. And I don't really mind if it sounds a bit woo. I can argue that the Heart Math Institute is doing some really interesting research on the heart, but I'm not going to go into words and get you back into your head, because you've come here to get out of your head into your body and take a break from the overwhelm. So instead, I'm just going to invite you to do that or not. So if you're in a position to close your eyes, do so. If you're driving, don't do this. And just moving your attention firstly into your feet, and feel your feet on the ground. Really allow your attention to settle away from the mind and its distractions, away from external distractions. Sending your awareness, your attention, all your focus in your feet, and feel your feet on the ground. Feel your feet on the ground. Maybe allowing the belly to soften if it wants to. And if it doesn't, that's okay. Just notice how you feel in this moment. And then bringing all your awareness to the center of your chest, your heart space. And maybe putting your hands here if that helps and feels nice, or not. And then with all of your awareness on any physical sensations in the heart space, just allow these questions to wash through you. And then you can either pause and write down your answers, or you can download the workbook and write them out afterwards. It doesn't matter, whatever feels easiest. to you. So feeling your feet on the ground, allowing your belly to soften or not. Maybe allowing the shoulders to move away from the ears if they want to. Notice how you feel in this moment. Bring your awareness to your heart space and letting these questions wash through. What do you want more of in 2022? What do you want more of? And this may come from doing episode 1, when you pause to review the year. Or it may be whatever comes up now. It doesn't matter. There's not one right answer. And each time you ask this question, you might get something new. And that's okay. So just noticing what comes up to you, for you, if anything. And know that this question will keep washing over you through the week, and different things might pop up for you, and you might think, yeah, I want more of that. I want to feel like this more. So particularly if you do my unexpectedly lovely things practice, the more you do that, the more you're going to think, oh, well, I want more of this. And if you want an unexpectedly lovely 2022, then probably one of the best ways is just to have more unexpectedly lovely moments. And to get those, you need to notice the unexpected lovely that's already there, but that the overwhelm keeps you from noticing. And this is just a practice. Just a practice. You ready for the next one? So dropping back into the heart space, if that feels nice and easy for you. What do you want less of? What do you want less of? So it could be that you want more of the things that you celebrated from episode 2, if you did that, and you want less of what you wanted to, identified you wanted to release in episode 3, or not. Or maybe you didn't do those, and that's okay, so you just do it now. What do you want more of, and what do you want less of? See what comes up for you. And then, what else would you like? What else would you like? Like a wish list. But a wish list where you can't get it wrong, and unlike a magic genie, you don't only get 3 wishes, so it's not like you've filled up your wish list and you can't have anything else. And it can be really helpful here to be playful, curious, kind. What else do you want? Anything. All you're doing is dreaming. It's not a serious list. It's not set in stone. Nothing terrible will happen. You don't need to show it to anyone. You don't need to start working hard towards it. So if something comes up which you think, oh, that's terrible, that's so lazy, notice the judgment completely neutrally, and then return to your question over and over again. What else would you like? How do you want to feel? How do you want to feel? And if you identified in the previous episodes or in the workbook times when you felt really good, really at ease, really happy, really joyful, really playful, really relaxed, whatever. Do you want more of that? Or is it something else? How do you want to feel during 2022? Because in the end, it is about how we feel. So all the things that we do when we set New Year's resolutions or we make plans and goals. So when we think about changing jobs or growing our business, it's all in the end about how we want to feel. It's the freedom from financial worry. Well, what does that feel like? It's the feelings of safety. So what does that feel like to you in the body? How does it feel? Feeling fit and healthy, how does that feel to you? And then you can get really specific to really help with this, because identifying how you want to feel, if you know how you want to feel, then when you feel like that, you will recognize it and then you get more of it, because we get what we focus on. So How do you want to feel when you wake up in the morning? How do you want to feel when you go to bed at night? How do you want to feel when you eat your lunch? How do you want to feel after going for a run if you're a runner? How do you want to feel when you get time with a friend? How do you want to feel with your partner? How do you want to feel about your other relationships? Maybe you have children or siblings, parents. How do you want to feel as a dog owner? This is a big one. Or a cat owner. Or even a plant owner. And I say this because for myself and the people in my courses and people I work with one-to-one, we can easily get caught up in what I call a get better at list. And maybe you identified and wrote down your invisible get better at list if you did the last episode or the workbook. So how do you want to feel about these things? Basically, how do you want to feel about yourself? How do you want to feel about yourself? So, how do you want to feel this time next year? So that one's definitely worth pausing and writing out or having a chat with a friend about, whatever works for you. But we're going to continue. So as you start to dream over the next week or so, and you start dreaming in, this is how I want to feel when I wake up in the morning. This is what I want to feel at the end of the day. This is what I want to feel in these relationships. This is how I want to feel about myself, about my work, about who I am in the world. This is how healthy and fit I want to feel. This is how I want to feel about my body. Whatever it is for you. So just allowing that to come out. And then if out of that you find that there are opportunities or actual actions you can take, then maybe a plan for 2022 might come onto your piece of paper or not. Because what's most important to me is this. How can you make this happen? How can you make this happen? If you want to feel in a certain way, if there are things that you want to experience that you think would make you feel that way, then that's your next layer, isn't it? So how we want to feel, what are the opportunities that can allow me to feel more of that? But also, more importantly to me, is this. To make this happen starts with a commitment to yourself. It starts with a commitment to yourself to make this happen, to allow yourself to feel more at ease, to feel less overwhelmed. And the best way I know to make that happen is through neutral noticing, noticing completely neutrally how you feel about anything at any given moment. Because that level of awareness gives us useful information to guide us. So I recommend committing to yourself and practicing neutral noticing every day. And then within that are special practices, like noticing unexpectedly lovely things on the hour, every hour for a while. So I offer lots of things to help, which you can have and do. Or come onto one of my courses during 2022. Maybe join Get Your Life Back. March is the next intake, so that might want to go on your list if that's for you. I don't know, what is for you? What do you need? What support do you need to help you? And then I invite you to just identify what would help you. What do you need? But the biggest thing is committing to yourself, to saying, I want to feel this during 2022, and then making the commitment to allow yourself to feel like that, to say yes to things that make you feel brilliant, and to be able to say no to things that don't. Because this is your life, this is your 2022, and how you are in the world matters. You matter. Thank you so much for taking part in this series. I'd love to hear how you got on. Please do drop me a line at heidi@heidimarke.co.uk. I'd love to hear from you. Please share this series with people who you think it would help. Really, really appreciate that. One of my dreams for 2022 is to double the number of listeners to the podcast. So that just means that everybody who listens to it has to tell one or two other people, and that should happen pretty quickly. It's growing fast at the moment. I'm really excited. I'm really grateful for the opportunity to be able to talk to you each week, and I thank you for being here. I love hearing your feedback. If you have any suggestions for episodes where you're curious, how would Heidi deal with that, or that a particular aspect of overwhelm or a guest you'd like me to interview, then please do get in touch. So, it's your year. Go and make it happen. And start by taking the time to dream before you rush into creating some crazy to-do list. Thank you for listening to this week's episode of the Overwhelm is Optional podcast. If you'd like the free accompany workbook that goes with the Turn of the Year series, then please go to www.heidimarke.co.uk/pause.